A lot of women neglect the beauty of dating a struggling man, but that's where the foundation of trust is built. The loyalty, the commitment, because he's not trying to win you over with any money, because he doesn't have it. He's going to win you over with effort, consistency, and that comes with respect. See, you only value and respect something that you had to work hard to get. He understands the sweat, the long days, the living paycheck to paycheck, the goal setting, working overtime just to take you somewhere nice, etc. That's where 90% of the time the guy with wealth falls short. He has no respect for you. He didn't put in any effort with you. He didn't have to work to build a foundation with you. He simply bought you. To him, you're just another prize on the shelf, something to pull out when he wants to play with it and throw back when he's done. That's what most wealthy men do. They buy things because they can, not because they need it. Hell, sometimes not even because they want it, just because they can. They're more intrigued with the fact that they can buy you instead of actually being intrigued with you. To him, you come at a monetary cost, and he can buy 1,000 more of you because you come a dime a dozen. You're nothing special. But with the struggling man, your love was bought with authenticity and genuineness that was built on solid ground, and that's the beauty within the struggle.
Polygamy relationships. Polygamy relationships. And sister wives. So what better way to get the answers y'all are looking for than to have a very successful polygamous couple answer, or is it a couple, family, answer them all for you. So y'all relax, and here we go, and welcoming Messiah. Come on, Stephanie. Well, hello, family.
Hi.
How are y'all doing?
Great.
Amazing. We are so delighted to have you here on the Sandra Show. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
When did you as individuals realize that the poly life was for you?
When you start realizing you all have the same interests, and everybody pretends that they don't have them, but when you're honest about it, and then it comes together, and then you realize you have interests of the same person, why not go together as a couple? So it just brings it together. Next thing you know, friendships develop, and then personalities and connections and chemistry happen. So, yeah.
So was this the beginning of the love that kind of spread over into, or?
Because she just came into our relationship and our life as well. And we all look the same.
So you're the
She fit.
newbie.
Yeah. She fit.
How's it going, girl?
Great, amazing.
It's amazing. How
Amazing.
long have you been in the poly life?
So we've talked for like a year, but I finally just came out in like a month now.
Really? You are really new.
Yes.
All right. What is she gonna get?
Whatever she wants. Whatever she wants.
She gets whatever she
Whatever she
wants.
wants. She's a sweetheart, man. She's
Very.
really like loving and caring, and
Very genuine.
it's
humble
exactly what added bonus to us. Everybody's in a polyamorous relationship. They just lie about it. And for the man, you got your multiple women that you do like, because one is have interests that the other one don't, and vice versa. So that would cause a man in that type of state to maybe act out or emotionally do something that a woman would take time to do. You get it? But we don't have that same connection of feelings that a woman would do when they finally do cheat.
So what are your family's reactions to being in a polygamous relationship?
Well, my mama Christian, she was like, well, it is in the Bible.
Your what?
My mama's Christian, so she was like, it is in the Bible.
Your mom told you it's in the Bible.
It is in the Bible.
And what scriptures did she share with you?
She didn't. She told me to Google it.
Don't just Google
That's
it,
Sunday.
okay? I love it. So you have a kid. Who has the child with you?
Steph.
Stephanie has a child with you.
Yes.
So how does the child interact with all of you?
She wakes up every morning. Hi, Mom. Good morning, Dad. Where's Rose? Is Tatum here?
Oh, wow.
She loves it, because we're all here as a family. We help each other.
We
Or,
support.
when one can't do something, we have the other one to be able to help us. So the kids, they love it.
They definitely love
They
it.
take it very good,
Did you ever have to explain to them the relationship that you all have?
I believe you did with the boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the boys are older.
Yeah, they're very
Yes.
smart.
Yes.
That's a blessing that we do have.
Yes.
All the
our
kids are smart.
pretty, they're
So
really-
they are fully aware, they understand, they're
Yes.
accepting.
Ours are
there's
still
no
babies, so-
pushback.
And we're very open. Like we speak openly.
Well, you have to be.
Yeah.
Well,
Definitely gotta be
the thing is,
open.
too, we know you want to unlearn certain things that's not the same existence as we was taught from back in the day. Like sometimes, like the things my mama taught me, and she raised me amazingly, but some of the things that it doesn't correspond to how the era is now. So now we have to unlearn stuff that we were taught.
We're living in a different generation
Very
now.
much so.
We definitely are.
much so.
So what are some of the benefits of being in a relationship like such?
Okay. I mean, it can go anywhere from daily activities like
Show
you were
'em the rollie,
talking
baby.
about.
Multiple incomes.
These things always help.
She was like,
Multiple
Like,
incomes. So
show
we
them the
all can
Rolex, baby. Okay, so those are some of the
Number one.
benefits.
It's just multiple incomes, you know, so
You
we
have
can do a
multiple
lot more.
incomes.
Exactly.
Okay.
As
And-
far as for like
and it's-
us as mothers, you know, it's always
we always
hard
have help.
to find a babysitter to work, or I can't come into
Someone
work
always has
because
to.
my child is sick or because I'm sick. And
So we have that help. We don't have to
it
pay and
helps
find anybody
in
else.
such a big way.
I definitely can
especially if you
understand
don't
that.
have family or anything. You know, it benefited me specifically because you know I have 3. You know, so I had 2 before having him. I'm sorry, I'm nervous.
That's fine. Go ahead.
You
keep
had
going.
2 before meeting
Yeah,
him.
so you know, I
So
didn't
you
really
have a
have
bonus
anyone to
family.
help
Yeah.
me watch my
Yes.
kids or anything. I just had me and him, and then my mom. You know, ever since we came into the poly and came together, when I needed to do something, I had her, I had options.
It's a network.
Yeah.
When was the
Beginning.
beginning? Years ago?
Yes.
Well, yeah.
It
So
took
they've been
time and
together
maturity
longer.
to kind of get over the jealousy, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, especially for me, I was the main issue with the jealousy.
Why were you so jealous?
I don't know, because I was so used to monogamy, and you know, my love for him was so strong, and even though I made my mistakes in the past, I was jealous because I couldn't do what he asked me or wanted me to do at the moment, you know? So, and then to see him leave for me to better myself, and then I still couldn't because of my jealousy.
I had to break a lot of things down to him in the beginning too, because at the end of the day, you don't want to be a jealous, spiteful woman.
I want to
A
see
lot
another
of
one
women
winning
can be
sometimes,
very-
especially
Exactly.
when it's their prize. Women get territorial, and especially when
Yeah.
it comes to the man that they love. So at the end of the day, if you can step outside of the box and think from a third perspective and realize that you're breeding love and happiness
Right.
as a whole idea, you're not just from yourself, then you start thinking differently. But that takes growth, because not
a
everybody's
lot of
able
growth.
to
Maturity.
detach from your emotions like that. Some people are still caught up in that, not realizing that it's not an object, you're a human being. You're not an
Exactly.
object, you're not a human being. So I can't possess you as much as I want to. You're gonna do what you want. And the only way I can truly, genuinely love you is by watching you grow. Like, you don't pick a flower, you water it to continue the
To
growth.
nurture it, exactly.
Correct.
Are you going to have 3 weddings?
Oh, I was thinking about that. We're going to discuss that, though. That's what's more of a poly, because it's open. So we can
Okay.
discuss how we want to do certain things. At first, I had a kind of what plan I wanted to do, but then it didn't fall through the way I wanted it to. So now I'm readjusting it. It's something I still want to do as far as getting married. I don't know if I was going to be everybody at one time or individual, so we all can have our individual dates as well.
So everything is a discussion. And if you all decide, hey, I want to stand at the altar all together and
Right.
hold hands, like 2 of you were back there holding hands, and I was like, this is really beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
when you're not even in the public's eye, you're still having
it's
that
real.
loving, caring spirit
Oh, definitely.
for
It's
each
definitely
other.
real.
That's the
That
difference
is,
between real emotions.
Yeah.
yes.
It's a genuine connection.
I'm just excited y'all got over the jealousy. Arguments. How do y'all settle arguments?
We don't really
Yeah.
Really?
argue that much.
I feel like they're really good. That's one thing I've
It's more of
observed.
a
It's
talk.
really good talking it through. Like, if someone gets irritated, no one's really getting mad. It's very easy. You're wrong. We talk it through how we're wrong and see why, and it's like, it's done. It's we never fighting, no really slamming. Don't get me wrong, it's not perfect. I'm sure probably eventually it'll get like that, but right now it's pretty good. How you handle it, it's pretty good. Well, because it's communication, as long as you communicate right.
You communicate.
Correct. And we have very good communication along
all of those things are so important.
Exactly. You have to be
For an
open-minded.
easy way out. Don't fight each other. Fight for your relationship.
For each other. We will fight for our kids. Say something about our mother, our father, our sister, our brother. We will fight.
Yeah. But unfortunately, the enemy has many married people fighting each other instead of fighting him. I remember a long time ago, we went to a marriage conference, and the people at the marriage conference, they was like, you should go home and give your spouse a lap dance. She says, I'm going to do that word. So she came home, and I remember she was trying to dance, and I was like, would you get out the way? I'm trying to watch TV.
Yes, he did.
Just mean, like get out the way.
Yes, he did.
But what did you do?
I left, I got out the way, and I was crushed. I went upstairs and cried. But the very next day, I did it again.
Did it again. And then the next day I was like, you know what, that's all right, that's all right, that's all right, that's all right.
You can't quit too soon. Some of us give up too
quit
easily.
too easy. She decided to be the hero of the home. And I don't know who needs to hear this today, but somebody got to be the big boy. Somebody got to be the big girl. Somebody got to say, you in the flesh, but I'm not getting in the flesh with you. You cussing at me, I'm not cussing at you. You playing games, I'm not playing games.
Yes,
I will anoint this whole house with oil. I will pray for you when you don't pray for me. I will war in the spirit. I'll be kind to you when you're being mean to me. I will overcome evil with good. I'll give you a lap dance, and I'm gonna come back tomorrow. You don't want me? Fine. I'll come back the next day. I'll keep coming back until you say I do, but I will not let the devil have this relationship. And I just feel like we need to learn to fight.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all glory, all honor, and all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah, Wa, Quadash, Rakah, giving all glory, all honor, and all praises unto the Most High Heavenly Father for this very moment. I want to say Barak Atham to all of those who are being diligent inside this truth, starting from the elders on down to the youth, those who are doing the best that they can when it comes down to keeping the commandments of the Most High Heavenly Fathers, as well as carrying on the faith of the Hamashiach Yahweh Shai, who is the Malak. And as we always make it known, hey, it's all about the kingdom. So overall with this message here, bringing forth exhortation to the Akim and the Akwathium, those who have a monogamous relationship and those that have a polygamous relationship. And one thing for certain, and what I do know as I'm examining myself within these scriptures, and when it comes down to the will and the way of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, he honors marriages, he honors commitment, and he delights in things that are unified according to what is of his will and his way. Because you got a left-hand point of view on things, on how something can be unified, and then you got the right-hand perspective in things on how to be unified. But nevertheless, one part is how to be carnally unified, while the other is spiritually unified. One is representing the flesh, while the other is representing the inner man. And as a soul, the more you are in tune with the knowledge of one more than the other, right? That gives the outlook on what is laid upon the tables of your heart when it comes down to doing the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. You see? And it's extremely important, in relationships to have a spiritual foundation and to always delight yourself in the law of the Lord. But in order to delight yourself in the law of the Lord, the law is spiritual. So that means you have to come from inner man's point of view and delighting yourself in the ways that are pleasing unto the Lord, and not so much as cutting corners on certain things, when it comes down to pleasing your flesh. You see what I'm saying? So with this right here, this video is particularly, and I know y'all seen the videos in the beginning of this video here, and it was points of views, things that are to be taken into consideration. But within that, it's valuable points that can help to keep a relationship healthy and not unhealthy. You see what I'm saying? And what keeps a relationship unhealthy is a carnal relationship. And what keeps a relationship healthy is a spiritual relationship. So one keeps it unhealthy, and there's one that keeps it healthy. You see? So in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, as y'all been seeing on the screen, and I'm in a blue letter with it, because every word has not only a vibration to it, but every word has a meaning to it. And that meaning can help to unlock new levels of understandings. You see what I'm saying? Where it opens up other doors through those understandings to get understanding. And that's all from, what is of inner man knowledge. And that inner man knowledge is what helps us to single thy eye, where our whole body will be full of light, because of all that we have acquired out of insight. You see, insight, inner man, understanding, you see. But that all comes in place as you are in subjection to the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, by following after the footsteps of the one and true mediator, who's in between us and Yahweh, which is Yahushua. And all of that comes in place. And what we do see that is evident when it comes down to this new covenant, and the beauty behind the bloodshed of Yahushua, and how it's a key in unlocking that power and that authority that is within us, which is the kingdom of God. You see? So in 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 3, and anybody that do read 1 Corinthians chapter 7, first and foremost understand the historical facts. And if you do your studies on the church of Corinth, and the things that they were battling with, and what was being made known to what they thought it was okay to be as, or what to do. And overall, there was a lot of spiritual fornication and a lot of adulteries going on in the church of Corinth. So when you read Paul's letters, it kind of gives you insight on the aspects of where the flesh stands at versus to where the spirit is standing at, when it comes down to one obtaining salvation through Hamashiach Yahushua. You see? And to continue on exalting Yahweh Shem Yahushua, on a daily basis, out of all the days of their living. You see? But going back into it, if you read in 1 Corinthians chapter 7, it's giving you the outlook on how a man's relationship should be with a woman, and how a woman's relationship should be with a man. You see? And overall, you'll learn as time goes on, like those who got a monogamous relationship, you'll see how you learning your significant other, out of servitude, gives you an eye opener on what is laid upon the tables of their hearts, where it helps to align you, or shall I say, to cause y'all to be synced together, from heart to heart in things, but out of the order of the Lord. And just like a polygamous relationship, likewise, where that man who has multiple wives, the way how his relationship is with the one wife is not as the same possibly with the other wife, because both of the wives, or all of how many wives he has, they have different personality traits, you see. And where they stand at in a relationship with you, that's out of your level of servitude to Yahweh Shem Yahushua, out of wisdom, to help keep balance, not only in between your relationship as that man is unto that woman, and that woman unto that man, but also giving an eye opener on how the woman, she can have a beautiful relationship with her sister wife as well, where it's not coming from aspects from a worldly perspective, being fleshly, but building things upon what is of the kingdom of God overall, meaning standing on kingdom principles, So I just want to bring that to light, where y'all can see this, because 1 Corinthians chapter 7, many, they get caught up and they be like, well, see, it's one man, one wife, and it's just like, no, it's trying to open your eyes up to commitment. Like when it talks about a man having his own wife, or that wife having her own husband, and when you go into the context and you build within it, it's showing you how that man is supposed to be committed to that wife, and how that wife is supposed to be committed unto that husband. Because when something you take as being valuable and is like, okay, this is for me, this is mine, this is me, it kind of like works with you in ways where it makes you to appreciate more of what you got. So overall, when you look at 1 Corinthians chapter 7, the whole breakdown again is about how a man's relationship is supposed to be with a woman, and how a woman's relationship is supposed to be with a man, and how things can be balanced where it's not grievous for both parties, where they can still rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord based upon the level of understandings when it comes down to the laws being established upon your heart. You see what I'm saying? Or shall I say the commandments are laid upon the tables of your heart. Overall, you living by the will of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and you're building a healthy relationship, a healthy, unified relationship. You see? And overall, wisdom helps us to balance that out. But let me go in this 1 Corinthians chapter 7 and verse 3. It say, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, right? And likewise also the wife unto the husband. So when you looking at this, right, it's giving you the aspects of what a husband's mindset is supposed to be like, and what a wife's mindset is supposed to be like. See, when a man is in tune with the Spirit of the Lord, it causes him to deal with his wife out of wisdom, because wisdom is what is captivating to her, and that's why she's in a state of cleaving unto you, you know, to be help meet, you know, to assist you in all of what you have gathered, that she's bearing witness to, that is evident of the Spirit of the Lord. You see, so when the husband renders unto the wife due benevolence, I want us to see, what does the word benevolence mean? Okay, let's go into because benevolence is just servitude, but let's just prove all things, all right, in a Strong's definition. All right,
Strong's G 2133. You know ya.
All right, you know ya. And it says goodwill and kindness. Goodwill and kindness. Okay, so everything that you do, you basically, you're doing it from a pure estate. You're doing it from a clean heart. You're doing it from, it's like there is no malicious intent. There is nothing that would be where wisdom is not able to dwell at within you. You see what I'm saying? So basically, you're not carnal in your approach and things in that relationship when it comes down to your wife as a husband, or your wives as a husband. You know what I'm saying? You're loving them, or loving that one wife, if that's what you have. You know, you're loving her, or you're loving them from a perspective that will be of balance. Why? Because the scriptures have made it known plain and clear, right? As you can see on the side of the screen, it states how the husband and how he's supposed to love the wife. You see what I'm saying? And overall, it goes into other contexts on how the wife, you know, due to the scriptures, how the wife is supposed to be, you know, loving her husband. You see what I'm saying? It's all about unionship. Why? Because it reflects what is established within the heavenlies and what is to be brought on the face of this earth out of the will of the Lord through us. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I always say, like, this is more than just a lifestyle when it comes down to serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So you have goodwill, meaning good intentions, and kindness. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you always want to come from a place of respect. You know what I'm saying? And then I like the part it say do, right? Let's go into that. You know, let's see the word do.
Strong's G 3784. A philo. A philo.
A philo, okay. It's a in certain tense, it's prolonged from a phileo, probably from the base of, you know, as you can see right there, through the idea of occurring. And now look at this part, the outline of the biblical usage. It said to owe. You see what I'm saying? To owe, like I owe you this. Like, you know, when you have a mindset like I owe you this, you know, it makes you want to give your all. It makes you want to give what you can to the best of your abilities. You see, and it said to owe money, be in debt for that which is due, the debt. You see what I'm saying? The metaphor into it is the goodwill due. So overall, you're in a state of being like, I owe you kindness. I owe you love. I owe you. You see what I'm saying? And nowadays, most people, they have it like, no, they owe me. You see what I'm saying? When you have a mindset like that, it cuts down where you can stand at and flourishing with the love that is established within you that has a direct connection to the heavenlies.
You just sat here in his face and said, I don't respect him as a man. Mm-hmm. And you don't think to consider what that does to his heart, to his soul, to his spirit.
I'm sure that's hurtful.
And you okay with that?
And it's hurtful for the things that he says.
But there you go. You're doing it. You're doing it right now. You're doing it right now. I'm holding you accountable and you spinning your web. Do you understand that your mouth, your voice, your words are connected to the coils in his heart, to the valves in his heart? Because she can emotionally manipulate him. But since we don't live in our culture no more, we say what we want to say, do what we want to say. We tear our men down and then wonder why they don't make good husbands and fathers. Mothers destroy sons. His mother can speak to him in certain ways that destroy him in ways that can never be repaired.
You see what I'm saying? Because the love of Yahweh Shem Yahushua supersedes past all things that are of understandings in this present world. You know, and you see that because the way this world loves is always on a level of what you can get out of something. You know what I'm saying? When the Heavenly Father is more so from kingdom perspectives, as in like to delight in dealing with things in the matters of what is of servitude. You're not so much as in like, yo, you got to give me services. You're in a state as like, hey, how can I assist you? You see what I'm saying? So that's the beauty in that. And you'd be surprised. Let's go into the Strong's definition of husband and wife so we can get a better perspective on this. So a husband, let's start with that because ahead. All right. This is for the husband.
Strong's G 435. Aner.
You see? And that's beautiful. Aner. Because all of that is just showing, you know, as we're going down into it, what is the outline of the biblical usage? It said with reference to sex, meaning of a male, of a husband, of a betrothed or future husband, right? With reference to age. And I want y'all to see that when I say future husband, because the scriptures, even in 1 Corinthians chapter 7:1, like the same chapter, it makes it known unto the man to not touch the wife. Why? Because, you know, it'll help where you can avoid committing fornication. You know, like you being in a state of just lying down with a woman just to lie down with her, and then it's something that you don't like, and because you already hit or you had intercourse with her, you now have it on your heart like, well, I already got it and I'm not liking her attitude, so I'm about to put her away. And that's something that, you know, Israel been doing, you know, for so long. And that's where Paul was standing at with the church of Corinth in those matters, to try to help them to be not burdensome on themselves, nor towards those who they are having themselves to be committed to. You see what I'm saying? As that wife is to her husband and the husband to the wife, or wives. All right. It said with reference to age and to distinguish an adult man from a boy. See, there is a difference between a boy and a man. You see, a boy is not willing to accept responsibilities, and man is in a position of accepting responsibilities. And you see this going back into Genesis with Adam, when the Lord had given him an assignment to take care of the garden. But we know primarily that was about him dominionizing with the authority and the power that has been established within him, so that he can have kingmanship and lordship over the earth. All right. So going further, it say any male, and then it say used generically of a group of both men and women. You see? All right. So there you go, man, husband, sir, fellow. You see? So a husband overall is one, and for myself seeing it, is a man who's willing to accept responsibilities. I see a wife. All right. I see the wife. All right, Salakia.
Strong's G 1135, Gunay.
All right, the outline of the biblical usage: a woman of any age, whether a virgin or married or a widow, a wife. You see, of a betrothed woman. You see, and that's beautiful when it's a betrothed. You know what I mean? Because that's like possession in a sense. You see, when you really like dig into the scriptures. All right, the Strong's definition is said probably from the base of the Strong's G 1096, which is basically a woman, specifically a wife, woman. You see, a woman. You see, universally a woman of any age, whether a virgin or married or widow. And they got scriptures there, Matthews 9:20 and Matthews 13:33 to back up them points. So a wife is a woman. All right, a wife is a woman. Okay, so going into it, let the husband render unto the wife due benevolence, and likewise also the wife unto the husband. So y'all have to be in that relationship like y'all owe each other, that y'all owe each other something. You see what I'm saying? And overall, I don't want you to try to take it that deep in a sense, but go more in an aspect in that relationship, as in like, how can I better assist you? If I'm not able to assist you now, then that's okay. You know, I'm still here where I can assist you, because what we have is something that I value and I treasure. And I believe ultimately that's where Paul stands at when it comes down to the church of Corinth, and really backing up on accounts on 1 Corinthians chapter 7. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's primarily dealing with. That's why context means a lot, and words mean a lot, when you're actually seeking out the Lord's way of what is of righteousness, or should I say holiness, where you're becoming blameless. All right. So verse 4, it said, the wife have not power of her own body, but the husband. You see, because a lot of men, they'll say, see, I'm the one that's over you. So they try to exercise their egos, you know what I'm saying, in that relationship, and not realizing you don't have to do that. Your level of servitude towards Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah is going to teach that woman, or teach those wives, okay, on how to better serve you, because of your reasonable services to them out of the will of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. You see? Now, granted, sometimes things may not go the way how you would want it to go, but for the most part, when you're committed and you're faithful, that's the evidence of you seeing how the Lord will fight for you in that marriage, or, within your union. You see what I'm saying? When it comes down to you as a man with that one wife, or either with both of your wives, either way, the way how you deal with one wife could slightly be different from the other wife. But overall, it's the wisdom that comes from the heavenlies that the Father bless us with to keep that balance in order to be at peace with what the Lord has given unto us to maintain, that is of a lot. You see? And not a lot, as in, I'm talking about a lot. You know what I mean? Which is, overall, what is your duties? You see what I'm saying? Okay, so notice this, and it said, and likewise also the husband hath not power of his own body, but the wife. So it shows you when your wife wants something from you, or your wives, they want something from you out of righteousness, you have to weigh it out, not from your own points of views, out of selfish intent, but you have to be willing to be understanding, and you have to be willing to execute judgments righteously and correctly. And the only way these things can come, to pass, and you grow in these matters, okay, when it comes down to that man and that woman in a relationship, or that man with his wives, all right, is if we go to the book of 1 Kings chapter 3, all right, and we can jump down to verse 9, I want to say, because this was dealing with Solomon. It said, and thy servant in the midst, was verse 8 right here, and thy servant is in the midst of thy people, which thou hast chosen, a great people that cannot be numbered nor counted for multitude. So he's bringing something to our eyes. And if you look at this as Israelites, when we looking at each other, it's like, well, damn, we are of God's chosen people. So let me have it in my mind that my wife or my wives, they are a part of this body, or they are Israelites, or you understand what I'm saying? Because I love when I love, and I do stand on strongly Israelite relationships, and you know what I'm saying, I do stand for that. And why? Because it keeps the relationship and what is of Yahweh Hashem Yahweh's promises strong amongst us, because the sons and daughters of Zion is united amongst each other under the will of the Lord, with no other interference or anything else to partake, you see what I'm saying, and coming in between. But and I'm speaking on those matters because what comes in between is usually things that's from a left hand's point of view, and matters to try to cause divisions amongst those who are building from a right hand's perspective due to the wisdom that has been given unto them by Yahweh Shem Yahushua. So Solomon is making it known like, yo, these people are great. So in a relationship, I want you to see that. You want to see your wife or your wives as in being great. And wives or wife, you want to see that that husband that you have is great. Why? Because that's what will help to bring the greatness out of both of y'all, or all of y'all, where y'all can grow in unconditional love and not conditional love, because there's a big difference between unconditional love and conditional love, you see. And overall, conditional love is I'm only going to love you based upon this level and that level, but that I ain't dealing with that, and there's nothing wrong with it, they just don't want to accept it. And then you have unconditional, where it's like, I see where you're coming from with it, I may not agree to it to the fullness, but it's not something that's detrimental to towards our souls and our relationship. So I do see that we can overcome this, and we can move further and do better and greater. You see the hope in that when it comes to a relationship. You see the level of faithfulness in that, in a relationship, the level of commitment in that when it comes down to yourself emotionally and mentally in that relationship. Now, don't get me wrong. Yes, you may have certain things that may be of opposition, but as long as you're staying committed, you see, that's what shows where you stand at and leaning unto Yahweh Shem Yahushua, So let me go further. Verse 9, because this is the punch. He said, give therefore thy servant an understanding heart to judge thy people, that I may discern between good and bad. So I want y'all to see this. Because he said, for who is able to judge this thy so great people? Saying, a lot of times men, and I'm only coming from an inner man's point of view, when it comes down to a relationship, because this can be applied to a relationship if you think about it, by reflecting. You see what I'm saying? Self-reflecting, right? When you look at this, it's like, well, we are a great people, right? Because we're Yahweh Shem Yahushua's chosen people. And it's like, not only that I'm reminded here to see each other as being great, right? But also when you look at it, is saying, give therefore thy servant, as in due to benevolence, being in servitude towards one another, right? In a relationship, and understanding heart. Seeing when you're in a relationship and you're desiring to understand your significant other or significant others, you're in a place where you're trying to further what would be of the righteousness of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. You see what I'm saying? And through that understanding, it's all in place of what is of the heart. And we know that the heart is of the mind, and the mind goes right along with your way of thinking. So what is a part of that mind, which is of that heart, is what you got laid upon those tables that you stand on and represent. You see what I'm saying? So ultimately, to have a heart to judge thy people, you want to make sure that you're in a state where you have a heart to judge that relationship, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you are doing in that relationship correctly, meaning it's going to be what is of the word being applied in this relationship, and not so much as in what I feel or what I think is right. It's more so as in like, what is it of the Lord in this relationship that he sees and what he is pleased with that is right. Because remember this, the more you're getting in tune into this, the more the Father reveals himself unto you, the more you will see why Yahushua had said in the scriptures, fear not, little flock, for it is in your Father's good pleasures to give you the kingdom. So it pleases the Father when we are in a state, right, to go by things that are lining up to what he has given unto us and established within our inward parts inside of our hearts, which is all in the matters of the kingdom of God. You see? So that woman that is connected to that man of the Lord, right? She's in tune with his inner man. And the more she's getting in tune with his inner man, you know, she grows in that. But she grows in that, you know, through intercourse, because of him spilling his seed in her. And you know that seed, it has information. So there are things that she connects to that man on about through the spirit. You know what I mean? Showing you why the Lord is against a woman with a lot of men, right? And why he has it for that woman to be dedicated to that one man. You see what I'm saying? And ultimately that man, you know, being fruitful and multiplying and doing what is of the will of the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And when it comes to wives. So love y'all, stay up and stay blessed. And, you know, overall, if y'all can see this, it's primarily standing on, or shall I say what is being talked about, is how to be a discerner between good and bad when it comes down to a relationship. You see? So shalom, family. Shalom.